up against Lakshya Sen of India. Here's how the men's draw looks. This is the top quarter. Naroka is the other seed in this quarter of the draw. And the two protagonists on their way out, as you can see. Shi Yu Qi knows he's going to be usurped as world #1 by Kunavut when the new rankings come out. 2-1 on the head-to-head. Last meeting was in the Asia Championships a year ago, where Shi Yu Qi won in straight games, just under an hour. But Lakshya Sen has been a little bit out of form. I watched him. He lost in the first round in Singapore last week and didn't look flush full of confidence, truth to tell.
Yeah, I think he's lost in the first round in the last 3 events, the Thailand Open and the Asia Championships. So he really has dipped in form, yes.
So you probably don't want to draw the world #1, but that's what's happened. It's the way things usually work out. Player of the Year last year, Shi Yu Qi, after winning 5 World Tour events, and he added the Malaysia Open this year. But somewhat surprisingly, got knocked out in the second round of the Singapore Open last week. So he's got a bit to prove. And his opponent, Lakshya Sen, who's still just 23. Of course, he was a former World Junior #1. However, this year, I mentioned he was out of form. Best he's managed is a quarter-final. That was at the All England. Just the 1 title last year at the Syed Modi. And the thing is with Lakshya Sen, Bobby, we always talk about winning being a habit. Unfortunately, it works the other way too, doesn't it? Losing becomes a habit. And when you've had the kind of run that he's had, it's hard to kind of go into matches with a huge amount of confidence.
It is quite strange, really. I mean, we've seen him capable of some brilliant performances in his, well, fairly young career. The World Championships, the Olympic Games, made the semi-finals last summer in Paris. And yet, since then, other than that Syed Modi, which is a Super 300 performance, we haven't really seen him doing the damage on the circuit that we've been used to. So it has been quite a poor, well, not quite 12 months, but certainly 9 months. He strikes me as and this is just me talking, a styles player. He, for example, has never been beaten by Anthony Ginting, who's a very steady performer on the World Tour, always high in the rankings, and yet Lakshya Sen has beaten Ginting on every occasion. He's beaten Lo Kian Yu something like 6 times to Lo's performance against Sen at maybe 2 or 3, and yet there are other players out there that he just can't get past. And so I think it is a clash of styles, and I think it's going to be interesting, this match, a bit like the one we just witnessed with An Se Young, and how they come back from certain things. We're looking at a very dipped in form Lakshya Sen, but also a Shi Yu Qi who lost out last week to his teammate 26-24 in the round of 16 and has lost his #1 spot. How's he going to react to that? And again, this one's fascinating.
Ladies and gentlemen, on my right, Lakshya Sen, India. And on my left, Shi Yu Qi, China. Shi Yu Qi to serve, level, play.
So where we go, Shi Yu Qi getting us started in this men's singles round of 32.
Service over, 1.
And rather like An Se Young, Shi Yu Qi won't be too used to playing on the first day of a Super 1000 either.
No, that's right, and it's a really, really important week, this, for Shi Yu Qi, for a couple of reasons. This fortnight last year, he won Singapore and he won Indonesia. He picked up 23,000 ranking points, nearly a quarter of all of his ranking points that have put him at world #1. he earned this fortnight last year. He's just lost in the round of 16. And he's got all those ranking points by winning Indonesia last year to protect. They're still part of his ranking. So anything but a win here, he's going to drop even further in the rankings.
Well, complete miscue from the Chinese.
3 love.
And much as we said that it wasn't the draw that Lakshya Sen would have wanted, I think by the same token, it's probably not the draw that Shi Yu Qi would have wanted. He could have got a lot easier first-round opponents than Lakshya Sen. And they haven't played each other often enough, really, for Shi Yu Qi to have the kind of evil eye over it.
No, that's right. Lakshya Sen's a very awkward opponent for many players. I mentioned the styles earlier, but that being said, on his best day, Lakshya Sen is terrifically dangerous.
Service over. 1-3.
That being said, for me, over the last 12 to 18 months, Shi Yu Qi at his best is almost unplayable. And so, to give them their credit, that was a terrific cross-match winner by Sen.
Service over.
Good net, and was up early to play that round ahead. Yeah, at his best, Shi Yu Qi is the best in the world for me, still. Even with Viditsan now this week taking the #1 spot.
You know that you've just upset thousands or millions of Victor Axelsen fans. Of course, he's recovering from surgery, but he is a reigning Olympic champion, double Olympic champion, of course. And I think once he gets fit again, he'd be right in the mix, wouldn't he?
I hope so. There was, I was actually watching the, there's some top players that have created a new badminton podcast.
Challenge
Kirsty Gilmore, Christo Popov, and a few other Europeans. And that was one of the big questions last week or the week before. They were talking about, is Axelsen still capable of winning either a World Championships or another Olympics? And it was quite a big debate. And amongst those in the know, more than perhaps me, these top players. And the chances are he can do it back at full fitness. A bit like Carolina Marin in the women's singles. You wouldn't put it past her. She's very capable of the big occasion. That was a good kill from Shi Yu Qi.
Yeah, players you don't write off, or you write off at your peril. We've seen the first challenge on court 1 today, a couple of minutes ago, which Sen was unsuccessful with. It's good reactions from the Indian.
5-3.
Yeah, there's a few early signs that Shi Yu Qi may need to be a little bit more aggressive to get through Lakshya Sen here. Well, that was what I was sort of talking about. Got in there early, played an aggressive shot. He's missed the court, and by some margin. But that's the kind of initiative that I think he's quickly realised he's going to try to enforce.
That's on the line.
That is a wonderful shot.
Service
If
over.
at first he didn't succeed in the previous rally, he's tried it again here.
Yeah, the first one was a sighter, wasn't it? And he got the second one absolutely spot on.
Well, that's one of his favourite shots. Round the head cross smash.
6.
And I think this time, arguably, the clear from Sen was a little bit short, but still a great shot from Shi.
So from 3 love and 4-1 down, the world #1 for now is back on terms. Actually got to that elevated position back in exactly a year ago, actually, June of 24.
He's had a terrific year, and whilst Axelsen has struggled with injuries, he's really sort of made hay while the sun shines, so to speak.
7-6.
I had him as favourite for the Olympic title, and of course, well, as we all know, it was not his best performance, and he even doubted his own career from that point onwards. Great to see him come back, but with 5,000 points lost last week in Singapore, Vidit will be announced as... That's a great net shot.
Service over.
Vidit of Thailand, yeah, will be announced as world number one, hopefully in the next week or so. And as I mentioned, if Shi Yu Qi doesn't perform here, and I mean he needs to at least get to the final, he could even drop below Victor Axelsen in the rankings.
Excellent from Sen. It was a phenomenal achievement, you know, for Shi Yu Qi to win the All England this year, because he'd won it previously in 2018, 7-year gap. And in fact, in 2018, he beat Lin Dan in the final, which kind of puts it into perspective a little bit.
Yeah, what a context. Great work in defence. Such aggressive play from Shi Yu Qi.
Service over. 8-0.
And perhaps the best rally we've seen so far as well. That was brilliant.
Yeah, under pressure, every shot in that exchange, Lakshya Sen eventually it had to tell. But this has been a compelling first, 6 or 7 minutes here, this men's singles. 8-all, and that's about a fair reflection, you'd say, as well. Nice. Oh, he was on the base. All his weight was going back. Shi Yu Qi and Lakshya Sen spotted that and said, right, have a bit of a... Get that if you can.
Just brilliant quality. The tiniest little deception with that forehand net shot. And played it plumb on the line as well.
Thought about challenging and then changed his mind.
9-0.
Well, we've seen a few almost inch-perfect shots now from Shi Yu Qi. He's really found his range. Going wide, surely.
10-9.
So after being behind for much of that opening game, Shi Yu Qi goes for the mid-game break with a 2-point lead. 11-9.
Court 1, 20 seconds. Court 1, 20 seconds. (11-9). Play.
Beautiful. Just feel like he's gone up a gear, doesn't it, Shi Yu Qi?
9.
I think those opening exchanges at the start of the game taught Shi Yu Qi very quickly that he's going to need that little bit more firepower, that speed of movement to get through what looks like quite a competent performance here so far today from Sen. I mean,
13,
against many other players, this kind of level looks pretty good. He's certainly not playing like he doesn't believe he can win this. That's a lovely cross block. Good defense from Sen. Shi Yu Qi having to work hard.
Just too much on it, but he...
Service over.
Well, he's trying to get the umpire's attention to challenge, and finally he has.
I actually thought he challenged and was trying to get the umpire's attention to cancel the challenge for a moment, because when both line judges signal it out, long and wide, surely you'd maybe rethink this.
Well, I think because the umpire was kind of looking the other way, he didn't see him. Here we go. Yeah, not really
challenge unsuccessful.
worth challenging that, truth to tell, because both the line judges are right by a distance. Yeah, I always think when you see a line judge change their mind or delay it for any kind of period of time, that's always when a challenge is worth having.
That's definitely the one to challenge. I find it fascinating still how these top players challenge calls on their opponent's side of the court at the far side after a high lift or clear, where you've got your opponent who thinks it was out, otherwise they wouldn't have left it, and then the line judge has got plenty of time to see it and calls it out. The chances of you winning those challenges are very slim, and yet we still see them.
Yeah, doesn't Kirsty Gilmore say, when she's been doing some commentary with us, that 90% of those kind of challenges are doomed to fail? Yeah. I don't know if she's actually done any statistical research, but it feels like she's going to be about right.
Yeah, I agree. I think, especially on lifts and clears, the flat one, the fast ones, you know, the drives and smashes, when they're towards the back line, challenge those by all means. That is aggressive from Shi Yu Qi. That was brilliant.
15,
yeah, he's got his range now, hasn't he?
And the rhythm here, the speed at which he turns his feet round to get behind that shot. That's Shi Yu Qi really meaning business.
After a slightly sluggish start, he's in control now, the world number one. And going through the repertoire.
10.
There are times in sports when you can just tell somebody's full of confidence, the way in which they go about their craft.
17,
and it's at this moment that Shi Yu Qi looks dominant.
Well, he's put it long, but it looked a near certainty, because he was running his opponent all over the court there.
Yeah, since the mid-game interval, it's been the Shi Yu Qi show, really. Disappointing not to have finished that rally.
(11, 17). Late.
Oh, Shi Yu Qi slipped. He's had the same problem as I think An Se-young had. I'm not sure if he got too much grip or he slipped 18, on this new mat. But take a look at this.
Fortunately, he's okay.
Yeah, it looked like he almost got caught. His left foot just... Well,
it's on the other side. It's on the other side of the court from where An Se-young slipped, isn't it? So both ends now.
defence, brilliant.
Always
19-11.
looks a bit special when one of those trick shots actually ends up winning the point. Here we go. How about that? Try and do that next time you're at your local club.
Really calm finish by Shi Yu Qi in the end. I mean, sometimes you see the unorthodox and it almost puts players off.
20.
So 9 game points
11.
here for the #1 seed.
Game.
Well, what started off looking like it might have been
First
quite a
game
tough
won by
assignment
Shi Yu Qi,
ended up
21-11.
with a fairly comfortable, very comfortable margin of victory. 21-11 for Shi Yu Qi in that opening game, and it only took 16 minutes. The world #1, for now at least, he leads 1 game to none.
Yeah, Lakshya Sen scoring just 2 points since the mid-game interval. It really was dominant, that second half from Shi Yu Qi. Good to see him firing again.
Court 1, 20 seconds. Court 1, 20 seconds. Second game. Level. Play.
So looking to pick up where he left off here, Shi Yu Qi. Brilliant in the second half of that first game. And looks like he plans on doing exactly that.
Change. 1 love.
Looks a menacing figure when he's there, doesn't he, the Chinese?
Yeah, he's not just playing with confidence, but he's applying so much pressure here to Sen, who is being forced into playing at an extra level at times.
1, 2.
It's a big man, Shi Yu Qi. He's very athletic. Good footwork too. There's no surprise he's been at world #1 for the last 12 months or so, especially with Axelsen off with injury at times. That's brilliant. The amount of power off one leg here, that left leg jump out from Shi Yu Qi around the head, just exquisite.
You wonder if there isn't a little bit of, I wouldn't say anger, but a little bit of frustration after losing so early last week, Shi Yu Qi, and he almost wants to prove a point, especially knowing that he's going to lose his #1 status.
4-1.
And unfortunately, for that man, he's the victim of it.
Yeah, he's got a big task ahead, Shi Yu Qi, this week. He's got a job to do, and that is winning this event. Anything less wouldn't be a disappointment necessarily. You can't expect to win everything, but he'll slip further down the rankings, and that's certainly not what he'll want. He'll be trying to make a statement here today to prove to the rest of the men's singles field, look, hey, I'm still here. I'm still the man to beat. You know, come and try and usurp me.
6-1.
Well, not the start that Lakshya Sen was hoping for in the second game. He's playing catch-up, of course, and combination of his own errors and Shi Yu Qi's brilliance finds himself behind the 8 ball early on in the second game.
Ball.
Better.
Service over.
Right at the body of the Chinese. Nowhere for
6.
Shi Yu Qi to go that time. Well, he must feel like he's in a firing line here, Lakshya Sen.
It's just magnificent. He's so dominant from that round-the-head position. The amount of cross-smash winners we see from Shi Yu Qi, well disguised, loads of power.
Shake of the head from Sen.
2.
He's really on the ropes here, Lakshya Sen.
And I thought he started well, you know, in the first game. First half, a dozen points or so. There's kind of been one-way traffic pretty much since then. That's okay, though. No, it's long.
Lakshya Sen challenges all out.
He's asking Hawkeye to have a look, and I don't blame him, because that looked close.
Yeah, it really did. Tough one to call this.
Challenge unsuccessful.
These line judges are very good.
1 challenge remaining. 9.
He only had 2 challenges so far this morning, both unsuccessful.
Play.
Everything else, they've got everything right, you would assume. The official so far.
Can't fault them so far. Good smash winner from Sen.
Over. 3-9.
Flick serve, perhaps, hasn't been practiced all that much from Shi Yu Qi. That was lacking some length. So powerful, taking the shuttle so early. Lakshya Sen just can't keep up with the pace of shot. Not the speed of the shot that's played, but how quickly Shi Yu Qi is taking the shuttle.
Well, he's managing to fire the odd riposte, but it is a Herculean task he's got here. 10-4 down.
Firing a couple of smash winners of his own. Sen, it seems, is going all-out attack to try to do something here. Playing that neutral rally has not been working well enough against this man, Shi Yu Qi.
So a
6-point interval lead for the top seed.
That was a quick half a game as well.
啊，软压不舒服，软压舒服，打开再上去，好，非常好啊。Court 1, 20 seconds. Court 1, 20 seconds. Eleven, 5. Play.
Terrific rally again from Shi Yu Qi. Relentless attacking, but he's missed with the final product.
Service over.
It's actually some great defence from Lakshya Sen in the early part of that rally. Did well to stay in it.
Play.
Lakshya Sen wise to that smash cross from Shi Yu Qi now. Defence holding up.
Well,
8, 11.
a few points on the spin here. 3 of them for the Indian.
It was very out of position then, Shi Yu Qi going for that winner down the line.
Yep. This is a spirited little mini comeback here from the 23-year-old.
I think Shi Yu Qi is guilty of being too aggressive.
Yes, and maybe a spot of complacency too, with that big lead that he had. That's now largely evaporated.
I get the feeling he has believed he can bully his way through Lakshya Sen here and just hit winner after winner, but we've seen the last 5 or 6 points.
9.
Some really steady work from Sen, particularly in defence. He's gone wide again, I think.
Service over. 10, 12.
Missed it again.
11, 12.
Well, talk about digging deep. We might have a game on our hands here if Lakshya Sen can keep this up. It's strange to say, but almost the tactic has been just keep getting the shuttle back in play one more time and let your opponent make the mistakes, because since the interval,
he's won 6 out of 7 points,
yeah.
Lakshya Sen. So 11-5 down at one point in this game. Now he's right in the thick of it.
It's going wide.
He wanted to play it though, he fancied it, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, it gives you a little bit of a boost, that sort of feeling you get
13,
from hitting the floor
11.
to win a point rather than leaving the shuttle.
just about to say that the rallies
11.
are much more competitive than they were in the first half of this game as well. Albeit Sen made the error in the end in this particular exchange.
It's interesting, you can almost see the state of mind being worked through on court in the style of play. Final 6,
11.
like you said, 7 perhaps of the last 10 points. Sen has just dug deep in defence, and Shi Yu Qi has realised that the all-out aggressive firepower isn't doing the job, so he's now reverted back to form and playing more of a neutral style.
Well, the other thing, I mean, this is the third straight week of big tournaments. You had the Malaysia Masters, then Singapore, now here. And it's a tiring run for players who are involved in 2 or even all 3 of those events. And you don't want to be going 3 games unless you have to. So if Shi Yu Qi, albeit he was knocked out early last week in Singapore, but, you know, he'll feel if he can come through in straight games here, won't play tomorrow, so he's got a clear day, comes back on Thursday, should be
15,
absolutely
11,
firing at that point.
play.
It's almost as if he felt
16,
the threat
11.
suddenly from Lakshya Sen, and he's just raised it again.
Yeah, but he's winning points now in a much more clever style, rather than just all-out aggressive attack trying to hit the floor. He's almost
17,
using Lakshya Sen's
11.
power and speed against him at times. That previous rally, that cross block, and here, a little bit unorthodox. Wasn't the most powerful shot, certainly accurate.
Yeah, that was all about placement, wasn't it? And all of a sudden, he's clear again, and
So
he's
it's
fallen back.
over. 12,
in control,
17.
you would imagine, of this second game. Shi Yu Qi.
Yeah, and you talk about that run on the World Tour. I mean, the week before the Malaysia Masters, which is a 300, was the Thailand Open, a 500, and a lot of these top players would have been involved in that. So certainly 3 out of 4 weeks for quite a few players, maybe even all 4 for some. And for players like Vitisan, who've won 2 of those tournaments as well, so they're playing almost every day, it's going to be tough. Well, it was a clever-looking shot, but it's gone wide. I believe now it will take something quite special for Lakshya Sen to take us to a third here. Well, that is poor.
Yeah, he's giving him every chance.
15,
Looked like
17.
he kind of stifled the Lakshya Sen comeback, but might be on again now.
Well, we talked about it earlier with An Se-young having a few more days off than she's used to of having. This man has had even more, because he lost in the round of 16 last week. And whilst, as you say, the World Tour has been particularly brutal for some, I don't think he'll really want to go to a third.
16,
Well, this may well
17.
happen now, because Sen is back within 1. That's 4 points in a row for the Indian.
Play on.
That was a good leave.
Lakshya Sen
If it was
challenges
correct,
for
he is
out.
challenging here, Sen. I guess he kind of has to at this stage anyway, even if he doesn't have a huge belief it was the wrong call.
It was a reasonably flat shot, and so there's a chance here.
Challenge
So the end of
unsuccessful. No challenges
five-game or
remaining.
5-point spree
So
for
it's over.
on the spin.
18-16.
This will be a huge point coming up here.
Brilliant. Oh, there's a slip from Shi Yu Qi, but he's still recovered somehow.
How did he get it? What a point. Wow, that's good. And that is a massive point for Lakshya Sen.
Shi Yu Qi still sprawled out on the floor. That was an epic rally. It might not have been the longest, but it's full of excitement. What a pickup that was. Oh, he could have played that as well. I think he actually left this. Look, he's almost there.
Yeah, I think he did think it was going wide, but it was flush on the line. He knew that a challenge would be fruitless.
Understandably, the court attendants have got a lot to do there because Shi Yu Qi was sprawled out on the floor for ages. The court would have been soaked.
So Lakshya Sen right in this second game. Can he find a way to take us to a decider?
Well, compared to the last points, that one's something of an anticlimax. 18 all as well.
That was a little snatchy, wasn't it?
It was. There was a cross block in here from Shi Yu Qi, which was very brave. And yeah, Lakshya Sen, no real right to miss that. Could have played all manner of shots.
Well, that's wide.
Well, it's getting tense. You can just tell with some of the shots they're missing here.
Well, that was money for old Rogue. What was he doing with the serve?
Well, against most players, that actually had a reasonable length. Yeah, a bit short perhaps, but especially against Shi Yu Qi, who's so dangerous from that round-the-head position. That was a little bit crazy.
Match point. That's good play from Sen.
Yeah, sticking with the orthodox this time. Pretty basic, good net shot, but a good length from Shi. And yet, that smash gets through, which I'm sure Shi Yu Qi will feel a bit disappointed at.
Looks like he's trying to crawl over the line here, doesn't it, Shi Yu Qi, rather than sprint over it, so to speak.
Yeah, Sen has certainly got him rattled in this second game. That's gone wide.
Well, this is the first time that Sen is ahead in this game. He's got a game point, and remember, he trailed 17-11 at one stage.
Well, we said at, I think it was 17-14 down or something, it will take something a little special, and we saw that in that rally, where both players were sprawled out on the floor, and then Shi Yu Qi, with those couple of mistakes. Oh, that should have been finished.
Great defence.
Yeah.
And it is quickly out of the way. So we are going to have a decider, 22-20. Lakshya Sen fights back, but that was trouble pretty much all of Shi Yu Qi's own making.
Yeah, what a turnaround. Shi Yu Qi guilty, in my opinion, of going too hard after the mid-game interval, thinking he could bully his way through Lakshya Sen, who stepped it up. This is the Lakshya Sen of old. I mean, great to see the reaction at the end of that game, the fist pump, but mainly it's great to see Lakshya Sen firing the way we've seen him over the years.
Court 1, 20 seconds. Court 1, 20 seconds. Lakshya. Final game. Level. Play.
So here we go with the decider, and you just wonder the confidence that Lakshya Sen would have got from taking that second game very much against the head in sporting vernacular, having been so far behind. Must be a little bit of doubt in Shi Yu Qi's mind. He could be facing a second early exit in a week.
1-0.
It's a really resilient performance from Sen in the second. He was under tons of pressure. Shi Yu Qi was banging smash after smash down at the first half of that game, and for me, just went a bit too aggressive after the break. It's difficult, isn't it, to know what frame of mind Shi Yu Qi is in, because if he turns this around and wins to single figures, I wouldn't be surprised. But equally, Sen could win the match, and I wouldn't be surprised, because it's a mental game now.
Oh, did he make it?
No,
Not
I
quite.
think it was wide.
Yeah, just.
Service over. 2-0.
Great effort.
Would have been really special.
Well, that's definitely good.
Yeah, that was miles in courts. I think she must have thought it was going wide.
Service over. 3-2.
It's not even on the line. Well inside it.
Good defense. And again.
Second guessed him, didn't he?
4-2.
Wonder why players hit that shot cross-court. Because if Sen, like he did, got his racket to it, the whole straight court is open. If you go straight in the first time, you've got to come through your opponent to beat him. So why didn't you kill it straight? It's just maths, surely.
Well, look at this. 5-2. Sen in front early in the decider. Match that Shi Yu Qi looked to have completely under control, literally 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, and there's a fascinating battle at the net being developed here. We hadn't seen all that much net play in the first two games. Yes, there's been a bit, but beginning of this third, it's been a great battle. That's lovely. Casual too.
4-5.
It's a real game of sort of cat and mouse now. Percentage of risk being taken. It all comes down to that mental state. And who can stay controlled at the right times? Who's willing to risk going for something a bit unorthodox?
5-0. Service over, 6-5.
Shake of the head from Shi Yu Qi. Not entirely happy out there, is he?
Well, especially because in his head he's going to be thinking, oh, he shouldn't be here. They should be done and dusted, should be in the locker room having a shower. So he's challenged this.
Challenge
Just scored a piece of the
unsuccessful.
line.
One challenge remaining. Service over, 6-0.
Well, it was a good reaction from Shi Yu Qi, and could not have been a better length either.
Seven, 6.
It's long.
8-6.
Points being won in clusters at the moment by both players. It's won 6 of the last 7, the Chinese.
There's that net battle coming back into play again. And a bit more cagey from both.
Service over, 7-8.
In good position, Shi Yu Qi should have done a bit better there, really.
Yeah, walked away, shaking his head. The top seed. Barely reached the net.
Body shot and the apology.
9-7.
Well, he's trying to fight fire with fire. Doing it pretty well.
8-9.
Yeah, for a guy that's not of a huge stature, he's quite a short player, really, Lakshya Sen. The ability to hit that kind of shot is truly impressive.
just become a totally absorbing battle this now. 9-all in the third.
And you can see the kind of gamble being played in the minds. Twice in that rally, Shi Yu Qi was edging towards the net, anticipating the required air. And both times, Lakshya Sen went over the top. This time he edges towards the net and gets the result he wanted.
And I think you did dead right what you said earlier about it's about the psychological battle now, because world ranking, seedings, head-to-head stats, they're all irrelevant at this stage.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting because that previous rally I mentioned, that's gone wide. Lakshya Sen caught Shi Yu Qi by going over the top, forcing the Chinese to be out of position. This time chose the nets, and Shi Yu Qi still had faith that he's pushing the net. So it's almost like you're placing more eggs in one basket in which corners of the court you're covering. It's a very, as you said, psychological battle going on out there.
So change of shirt for Shi Yu Qi, and there's going to be a change of ends, obviously, when they come back as well. Not been a long match at all. It's only 51 minutes to here for 2.5 games.
Court 1, 20 seconds. Court 1, 20 seconds. Coaches, return back to the chair. Coach. Coaches. Lakshya Sen. Play.
So, final act in this compelling drama.
Quite often I'm talking about the coin toss at this stage and who chose which end and why, and if there's a better end to finish on and all of that stuff. Seems pretty neutral out here today. I don't think I've really noticed that much drift, and lengthwise there doesn't really seem to be a faster or slower end either.
Well, yeah, and I mean, Shi Yu Qi, 17-11 in the second, should have won that game, really, and then further evidence to your argument, having watched An Se-young win in straight games earlier, that there probably isn't much of an advantage either way.
That's a terrific shot from Lakshya Sen.
11, 12.
It was disguised, it was heading towards the line, and it caught the tape. And Shi Yu Qi did well just to get his racket to it, to be honest. It's gone long, though. Oh, bad decision. I think that's in.
He was in, I was going to say he was in 2 minds. He was in about 5 minds.
13, 11.
I think he changed his opinion on whether to play it about 3 occasions there, anyhow. He let it land, it was well in. So Shi Yu Qi with a 2-point lead here in this decider.
Oh, I think there's a... Well, my initial reaction was, as the line judge said, it was out, but this was close.
Yeah, on the replay, I think it does look wide and there's no challenge.
I think that service line, the sort of cross-court line there, just deceived me. It looked like it caught some paint, it caught some white, but I think it was the wrong line. Good call.
all.
More mistakes than we would expect to see from the top seed. Not just in this game, but in this match, second game in particular. And now things are tight and tense. Fantastic play from Sen. Set it up brilliantly with a great net. And Shi Yu Qi behind the 8-ball after that, and that's an excellent winner from the Indian. Puts him in front now.
I remember speaking to a Indian coach about Lakshya Sen once a couple of years ago, talking about his physicality and for a that is brutal in attack from Shi Yu Qi. Talking about how he's very quick, he's strong, he jumps high, he's fast mover. And I asked him what is it that sets him apart in that respect, and he put it down to his upbringing, which is growing up on the slopes sort of just south of the Himalayas in India. And I said, are you comparing Lakshya Sen to some sort of mountain goat? Is that what it is? You know, and he just laughed, but essentially he said, you know, that is the physicality. He was born at a young age because he was running up and down the foothills of almost the Himalayas.
Fascinating.
Great block. There's moisture on the court down to Lakshya Sen's right. I don't think it will matter.
Well, he was feeling threatened, I think, the last few points, Shi Yu Qi, and has produced some of his best badminton to try and get out of this hole. He's back in front now, and decided with a 2-point lead. Having said that, he had a much bigger lead in the second game and blew it.
Yeah, and I think that will have really taught himself a lesson that second game, because, as I mentioned earlier, I think he sort of went gung-ho. He thought he could just smash his way through and end the game really quickly. It was a mistake to play in that way against this man, Lakshya Sen. And the court is still wet. I think, yeah, Lakshya Sen off camera, just waiting for the attendant to finish up.
(16-14).
Talking of Lakshya Sen as a youngster, apparently at 10 years old. Oof, good finish. At 10 years old, he walked into his regional coach's office, had to stand on his tiptoes just to reach over the desk to hand him a piece of paper with a few scores on a tournament they were playing, to say, look, hey, I want to play badminton, I want to make this my life, I want you to make me a better player. And I wonder just how many examples of that kind of stuff happen, especially in India, which has been a massively growing sport over the last few years. Tons and tons of top players coming through. Good finish from Shi Yu Qi.
Yeah, getting to be very tense now. Every point almost magnified because of the state of this match.
Didn't fall all that comfortably here, Lakshya Sen. He looked quite awkward.
Yeah, right on that right knee.
Yeah. That was risky from Shi Yu Qi, going cross there on the back foot. This time he's in good position.
And finishes it.
18-15.
Couldn't need the court attendant again.
Yes, the third time in 3 rallies, I think. Lakshya Sen's been on the floor. Hands down twice in those 2 shots, and a third time.
Yeah, which is testament to the power on the placement of his opponent, and he's ended up on the deck. But starting to run out of time here. Lakshya Sen, 3 points required for Shi Yu Qi.
Blake.
That's a bit crooked, and that's a bit of a gift.
19-15.
That was a must-win point for me, for Lakshya Sen, and credit to him for having a go at the attack. But at this stage of the match, all the hard work has been done. That's a clever play. Shi Yu Qi dictating again. More composed from Lakshya Sen. This rally, oh, it's gone wide.
So, is this the end of Lakshya Sen's hopes? He did brilliantly to win that second game from a long way behind. Now faces 5 match points.
Yeah, the head falling. Disappointment for Lakshya Sen. Despite being in a bad position, he'd feel he could have made that shot. It was right on his racket. He had the whole court to go at.
It's long, and that will do. And in the end, a slightly anticlimactic finish to a match that kept us royally entertained and in which the outcome was in doubt until pretty close to the end. Great fight back in the second game from Sen, but Shi Yu Qi's class told in the decider, and in the end it was relatively straightforward, at least the last few minutes of that deciding game.
He got a bit excited in the second, did Shi Yu Qi. Good to see that he settled his nerves into the third. A composed finish in the end, and a big week for this man. He's got to continue to perform.
He wins 21-11, 20-22, 21-15 in 64 minutes on court. Well, a warm welcome back to our continuing coverage of the 2025 Indonesia Open. Coming from the famous Istora, high-rise buildings of Jakarta in the background, and we have reached match number 3 on our opening day, and it's a good one too. PB Sindhu up against Nozomi Okuhara